I want to start by saying that I think, my Democrat colleagues wondering aloud why it is that we're here today. And I have to say, I would have thought that would have been obvious by now, that we're here because we're looking at maybe the biggest scandal in the history of the FBI. We're looking at the use of the FBI to interfere in a presidential election. We're looking at the use of the FBI to lie to the FISA court, to so misrepresent facts, statements, and other material to this court that the court had to issue a statement saying that they could not trust the FBI, not only in this case, but in potentially every other case going forward. Absolutely unbelievable, unprecedented for a court to issue a rebuke of this nature. And I have to say, the fact that my Democrat colleagues wanted to shrug and move on in the face of this kind of interference, this kind of inappropriate behavior, this abuse of power, which is what it is really extraordinary. And of course, the individual we have before us today has an entire report written by the IG about how he lied repeatedly. And so that's why we're here. And by the way, now that we're in the middle of another election, the outcome of which is still disputed and unknown, and people are wondering, why is it that so many Americans don't have trust in the electoral process? This is why they don't have trust in the electoral process. This is why. It's because we've seen instance after instance of the abuse of the institutions of this country to try to interfere with the voice and the will of we the people. And we're looking at it today. That's what this is about. If anybody's has any question, that's what this is about. Now let's talk a little bit about that lying to the FISA court, which the FBI did repeatedly and DOJ signed off on. Mr. McCabe, let me come to you now. You know, I've had something of a personal quest here to try to find somebody who will take some responsibility for these warrants that they signed off on, for these applications that they personally signed off on. You signed off on a renewal application for the Carter Page FISA warrant on June 28th, 2017. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
Now, by January of 2017, the FBI had identified and interviewed Christopher Steele's primary subsource. Isn't that correct?
That is correct.
And those interviews cast serious doubts on the accuracy of the Steele dossier, to put it mildly. Isn't that correct?
I know that now, yes.
The FISA renewal application that you signed, however, did not acknowledge any of those facts. Isn't that correct?
The FISA package that I signed contained the same contained the errors that are laid out in the IG report.
And by December of 2016, so this is months before the renewal application, the Crossfire Hurricane team knew that the primary subsource of the Steele dossier was suspected of being a Russian asset. Isn't that correct?
I don't believe that's correct. No, I don't know that to be the case.
Your testimony under oath is that the Crossfire Hurricane did not know that the primary subsource was potentially a Russian agent as of December 2016?
I can't tell you what the members of the team thought about the primary subsource in December of 2016. If you're referring to the recent footnote from the FISA report that was declassified by the Attorney General, then no, I don't know that they knew that then. I can't say what they knew.
The FISA application that you signed contained none of this, though, correct? It contained no new disclosures to the court. It contained none of the information that the FBI absolutely knew of. It contained nothing to give the court any pause about anything that you previously certified. Isn't that correct?
Well, I think you need to be, we should be specific about what.
Just answer my question. Did the application that you personally signed, did it disclose the interviews back from January of 2017 that you just said that you were aware of, that the FBI was aware of? The OIG report details this at pages 187, 188, and 189 of his report. You can go look it up. He's had a lot to say about you. You can go look up that IG report. They say that the FBI knew of the problems with this Christopher Steele's primary subsource and did not disclose it to the court. Isn't that correct? Yes or no?
The IG report, as my understanding, sir, details 17 errors that were present in the package that you're referring to.
Answer my question. Did the report that you personally signed, did it disclose the FBI's interviews in January of 2017? You signed the new application in June of 2017. Did it disclose the interviews casting serious doubt on the primary subsource? Yes or no? We both know the answer is no, but why don't you just say it? What, no, right?
It did not disclose serious concerns with the primary subsource.
Why didn't it? Why didn't you notify the court of this new information? Is it because you wanted to continue to undermine the election of Donald Trump? Let me ask you this. Didn't you send a text message on June 24, 2016 saying that I hope the Brexit vote doesn't predict a similar outcome here in November?
Okay, so I'd like to answer that. I'd like to answer your question, sir, but I'm going to need a little bit of space to get in a complete answer.
Why did you answer that question? Why did you send that text message?
I am, sir, as you know, I have not been able to review my text. I do not have my text in front of me here. I requested access to my materials, was denied that access. So I'm not prepared to answer your questions based on my text messages.
Oh, you don't recall them or you deny? Here's what it says, quote, I hope it, meaning the Brexit vote, doesn't predict a similar outcome here in November, end quote, June 24, 2016. Do you deny sending that message?
I don't know, sir. I haven't seen any of those text messages in over 4 years, and I'd like to be able to continue to. I'd like to give you a complete answer, but I'm having a hard time. When you speak over me, it cuts off my ability to respond.
Well, why don't you answer my question? Do you have no memory of that text message? Is that what you're saying, of June 24, 2016?
Sir, I don't remember text messages I sent in 2016 that I haven't seen since then. So yes, I don't have a recollection of text messages from 4 years ago. That's correct.
Yeah, very convenient. I noticed that everybody who comes.
It would be much less convenient. It would have been really convenient to be able to review those materials before today.
Including you, Mr. McCabe. It's really extraordinary. Really extraordinary. Let me ask you about this text message. Peter Strzok sent this to Lisa Page on August 15, 2016. I want to believe the path that you threw out for consideration in Andy's office, that's you, that there's no way he gets elected, that's Trump. But I'm afraid we can't take that risk. I'd like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. It's like an insurance policy in the unlikely event you die before you're 40. Why were you talking about the likely outcome of an election with two line agents who were working on a case, the Carter Page investigation at that time involving the president? Don't you think it's inappropriate?
I think your question is, the premise of your question is not accurate. I don't recollect ever talking to Peter Strzok or Lisa Page, only one of whom is an agent in the FBI, about the election or about that conversation that is referenced in their text message, which I was not a part of.
Oh, okay, so you're saying that that didn't happen? You deny that happened?
I don't recall that ever happening.
Just before we leave the FISA warrant application that you signed, the renewal application, how is it that the court was so deliberately and disastrously misled such that it had to issue a public rebuke at the FBI? Do you take responsibility?
I disagree with your characterization that the court was deliberately misled.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, that's correct.
You think it was just an accident?
I think that there were numerous and objectionable errors and omissions in that package, but I don't think
the falsification of an email. Do you think the falsification of the email to the FISA court was an accident?
Senator, I'm not aware of. Mr. Kleinsmith's activities I was not aware of until I read the IG report. I know that he has taken responsibility for those representations, and I understand that. The errors and omissions in that package, other than Mr. Kleinsmith's admitted activities over the report from the CIA, I do not know any of those other errors to have been proven to be intentional acts.
Senator.
Right. Okay, so we've established that.
Senator Hawley, Senator Hawley, your time has expired.